Hi friend, in this video we are going to discuss about Oracle multi-tenant database architecture, and also before understanding Oracle multi-tenant database we have to understand the reason why Oracle has introduced multi-tenant database. As we know, Oracle Corporation has started in 1971. That time Oracle was introduced with the single instance database with single instance running on single instance one database was running. From till that time to almost 2001, Oracle was running with single instance database. With single instance one database was getting connected and the whole setup was running on that. But later on, as per the client demand, client was looking for higher availability, so they introduced rack environments, rack database concept, real application cluster, where one database can run on multiple instances to provide higher availability. And this was the time when client was looking for higher availability. It was introduced in 2001. After that, almost after 12 years, when 2012 Oracle has released 12c database with release 1, there was so many small application was introduced that time, and so many clients were looking for a idea where a multiple database can run with single instance, so that they don't need to invest lot of amount of money on configuring and setting up a multiple database setups. So instead of setting a multiple setup, they were looking for an environment where on single instance multiple database can run. So due to this demand, Oracle started this multi-tenant database architecture concept, and they were working on this concept for longer, and finally they came up with this 12c release 1 multi-tenant Oracle database. Now onward, you can see 12c onward, almost every new release of Oracle supports multi-tenant database, because this is the most demanding thing. I can say almost every client look for a database where with single instance they can run a multiple application with a small database size. So for that, even if you see your whole PDB database, container database, this all while working, you won't feel much difference. It will behave like once you connected inside the PDB pluggable database, there also you will realize like you are working on single instance database. You won't feel much changes. Here the main thing is, in multi-tenant database there are few resources which are shared with your pluggable database. Like your pluggable database, no need to have their own instance. On a single instance, you can see on single instance, let me share another diagram. In that you can see this, on a single instance multiple databases are running, like sales PDB, it's a complete separate database, and HR PDB, this is also a complete set database, PDB pluggable database it means. So container database, it is like this particular part is your container database. It has their own data file, control file, read log file. So this particular area is shared, one instance is also shared to the pluggable databases. In that background process, share process memory, Oracle metadata, read log, control file, some data files are also shared with pluggable database. Pluggable databases have their own data file, and also if required for better performance, they can create a temp table file, yes, temp table space. So this is the basic understanding of multi-tenant architecture. In that multiple pluggable database can run on single instance. Here you can see seed PDB. It is a kind of template that will give a idea how your PDB should be. So, and container database, it's kind of container in that multiple blocks you are keeping inside. So those blocks will be like your pluggable database that you can increase in number as per your need, as per your application need. Like if you are running a multiple application and you want to run all application on a different database, you can add a multiple pluggable database and run your application on those pluggable database. So that is the main idea. For that, this multi-tenant database architecture came into role. So here in this, the major difference what you can see, root container will have their own user, and PDBs have their own normal users, and container users called as common user, and PDBs users called as local user. So container user will have privilege to log in and check whatever you wanted to check from PDBs, but PDBs user will not have privilege to access the resources from container. So this is the basic difference you will see. Yeah, we will do this practical. I have a 19C database installed in my system. In previous lectures you have seen this, so I thought before going in detail we'll first cover this multi-tenant database basic understanding, so that it will be easy for us to proceed further for next training sessions. We'll be able to understand why we are connecting to PDBs and why we need to go inside. So if you connect, let me connect it like through SQL Plus. It is similar as your normal standalone database. The same way you have to connect it. SQL Plus CDB. Now you can see it's connected. So here you can run so con underscore name. By this you can see your container root, and by the another command so PDBs. By this you can see your current running PDB. You can see PDB seed and ORCL PDB. One container database is currently running on my machine. So by this way you can see, and now we'll first of all we'll see how to create container. There is a slight difference of creating a common user and local user. So for connecting a common user, since we are currently with the container, so we'll create first our common user. Common user. So for creating common user, there is a slight difference. While creating, you have to use C has prefix, and then you have to create it. So by running this command create user, C has testing user identified by password. I am giving the same password. By this, just I am using this for practice. So generally we don't need to create much users on container database because it doesn't require much for use. But yes, on PDB, as per your need, because there you are going to do your all the things, and also container admin will have a privilege to access everything, as I told. Container DBA and also PDB DBA will have their own job, like application side users wanted to do some changes on the application label, so they will be using SQL developer or any other tool to access the PDB. So from there, with that they will only able to do the changes on the PDB label. So by this we are going to create a user on container. So now our user is created. So in the same way, and we have to give some privilege so that it can connect. So we'll grant the another privilege to this common user. Grant create session to C has testing user, so it will get granted, and then we'll try to connect, because since it's not have a correct privilege to connect it, still it cannot connect. So we'll just test the all privileges what it have. So by this we can see what are the privileges. Currently it's not showing any privilege as of now, so fine. We'll see what privilege we need to grant. We have to grant a grant DBA to this user container is equal to all, so that it can access the complete container, and then if we wanted to connect, it will be able to connect. So that's the way we have to connect it. And then after that, if you connect like this con, and then that user and then session will be able to connect it, and then the same password we have to give, and then by this we can able to connect. So since I wanted to create a local user, I'm not going to connect it. I'll connect PDB first. Like now I'm going to connect to PDB, and then I'll create a local user. So PDB. So by this we can see PDB, and now I'm going to connect the PDB. How we have to connect? So that you have to see alters by using alter statement. You have to connect it. Alter session set container is equal to ORCL PDB. By this alter session set container is equal to ORCL PDB. Now we are connected with our PDB. So there is a view like this, describe v dollar PDBs. By this we can do whatever we wanted to do on our PDB level. So with this we can see our mood, name, everything. Let me write it like this: select name comma open underscore mood from v dollar PDBs. By this we can see our ORCL PDB and read write mode. And here if you wanted to create any user, here we no need to use it. It will be like your single instance database. In the same way we have to create a normal user, like create username identified by password. If you give, it will get created, the user will get created. Like create let's create a user like testing user, create testing user, create user. Let me write correct command: create user testing user identified by testing user. By this we can create a user. Now you can see local user is also created. In the same way you have to create all the user. Like if you want to check, select star from all underscore users. By this we can see all the list of users. In the test user also you can see here it's showing. So this is the way you have to create. So thanks for watching till here.